having some technical difficulty. The Zoom stream wasn't letting me go directly to Facebook. I think that both places. Just gonna try and check right now just to make sure. Yep, looks like I'm going in both places. Awesome. So, first things first. Today, Mr. Captain America himself, Kyle Snyder, will be on Wrestling Lunch Group, the Wrestling Lunch Break at 12:30 this afternoon. I mean, if you're not excited about that, are you really a wrestling fan? So that means that we've only got 2 days left for this Rudis and Lucerne Custom shoe giveaway. All right. Once again, there's the info. Okay. If you have any other questions, go to the announcements page. Today, if you looked at the lesson plan, today is basically some of my just favorite moves. All right, we're going to go over some stuff that I normally don't get a chance to show when I'm really focused on fundamentals. Some tricky stuff off of defense. So I've got a couple of different things that I want to show you. Hopefully you guys like what you see today. Should be kind of fun. I've got some fun stuff. Other than that, no new announcements. I do have news for May, but I really want you guys to try and drive people to that YouTube channel. So make sure you try and do that. There will be an announcement for May continuing, so stay tuned for that. As I like to do, say what's up to everyone that I can see checked in. So my buddy Thomas, good morning, my friend. Thank you for checking in. I know we got started a little bit later. So with no further ado, let's get started with our warm-up. All right. So always like to start with some jumping jacks. Get about 20 into this morning. Ready and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. Good. Let's get some burpees with some mountain climbers. Let's do about 10 of these. 1, 10. Good. A little bit of gymnastics. Forward roll. Backward roll. Cartwheel. Cartwheel. Shoulder roll. Shoulder roll. Head bumps. Let's get some push-ups in. Draw our formed up. Get 10 on your own. 5. Good. Get some sit-ups in. At least 10. Go. Good. So make sure we stretch our necks. Very important. So So today, really what I want you guys to think, and this will kind of play into the lesson on Friday as well, is how am I able to exploit, take advantage of kind of basic positions with my opponent, and so you stretch out your hips. How can I get creative in finding ways to put my opponent to their back? So what we're going to do is really try and have some fun today with some of these moves. So, all right, let's get started. Always get started with some stance in motion. All right. Got to warm up our minds, warm up our bodies. Get ready and go. Remember, good wrestling position at all times. Get that butt down, elbows in, chin up. All right, you're on the mat, so your feet are moving. Remember our 7 basic skills: stance, motion, level change, penetration, body arch, lift, and back step. All right, you want to be practicing at least 3 of these for the first 30 to 45 seconds, stance, motion, level change. Remember, backhand checks your level, checks your distance. All right, keep your hands and your feet moving. Good, break, shake it out. So, going over a bunch these last couple of weeks. Make sure you add all of these things back in. You ready? About to go again. And go. So, remember all our defense stuff, our down blocks, defensive shot, reshot. Remember our swisher steps. Good. Just remember, we always want to be getting our hips forward when we explode on our shots. Hips come forward. Good. Moving our opponent, moving their head, getting their eyes to change what we're looking at. Remember, our fakes are everything but the shot. My shot and my fakes should look very similar. And break. Good. Got 2 more of these. All right. Okay, ready? And go. You should feel like this is a little dance for you where you know all the moves. So you're trying to get your opponent to react to what you normally do. So once this starts to fit in, it just becomes second nature when you're out there to visualize, your opponent in front of you, and all of this stuff becomes very second nature. All right, keeping your head up, staying in your stance the whole time. All right, never break your stance discipline. So remember, we change our level, right back to our stance. We don't change our level and readjust higher. And break. Got 1 more. So one of my biggest pet peeves is 2 things. Guys who rest their arm, all right, because now we're just given a target that's way too easy, all the weight on our front hand. And guys who stand up to shake out their bodies. All right, so let's get ready for the last one. And go in your stance. There's no reason once you get into your stance that you shouldn't be able to wrestle out of this nice low stance the whole time. All right, your stance should be comfortable enough for you to go lower. All right, but you shouldn't need to go higher out of your stance. All right, stay nice and low. Make sure your feet are moving. All right, change your levels if you want a little bit of break. All right, but never break your stance discipline. All right, never try and crack the ceiling on your stance. Stay nice and low. All right, motion, offense, defense. All right, really visualize somebody in front of you, forcing you to react. All right, you trying to force reactions out of them. Good. And brave. All right. Should be nice and warm. A little bit of stance and motion. So this first little move I'm going to show, just remember, nothing here should kind of blow your mind. The one thing is I'm not a huge fan of funk, so you're not really going to see any of that, but I do have some tricky stuff I like to show. So once again, I got my buddy Keithway here. All right, so one of my favorite little defenses. All right, so guys are going head inside single. Okay, they're staying this mid-level where they're not dropping down low. And so what I'm trying to do is trying to keep this guy from getting to both legs. So they're looking to elevate my leg off the mat. Now, as Keithway looks to elevate, all right, he's trying to decide which way he's going to go. So whether my foot's going to go all the way across, or stand up. He's coming all the way across to position 3, all right, and coming out that way, or position 1 where he's all the way on the inside. So when he's down and he starts to come up, I want to try and force my foot into position 2, all right? So remember, a lot of our defense is going to be head down and away, all right, starting to get our leg back. So this guy starts to come up, driving off the mat. I'm going to put my foot to the inside. All right, so I'm going to put my foot to the inside. First, I'm going to hook on the inside. All right, what this is going to do is this should stop his level change right where it is. If Keithway tries to come higher and stand up more, my leg doesn't move. He pulls himself out of position. All right, so right as it comes off the mat, I'm going to hook on the same side. Turn with me. And my whizzer is staying tight, and I'm pulling up. All right. Now, on the inside of my whizzer, you can see my hand right here between our chest. I'm basically looking to grab on the inside of my own thigh. All right. So stop here. And then what I want to do is I want to slide his shoulder in front of my belly like this. Now I'm going to go right across. So I'm going to push off of this foot that I have on the mat. I'm going to drive into Keithway. See how he had to adjust? All right, so I drew into him, and then this foot's going to step with that, all right? So right here, I'm going to drive in. This foot's going to step up, and I'm going to pull my toe in, all right? Before, when we were doing shot defense, we were pointing our toe. All right, now I'm going to hook the toe on the far side as I drive that way, all right? And right as I do that, now this hand becomes a hook, and I'm going to sit straight to my butt. Hook and sit right to my butt. All right. Right here, speed it up a little bit. He got on his leg. Right as he starts to come up, I'm going to drive in, step, sit right to my butt. All right. Right in here. As he starts to come up, sit right to my butt. My head stays high. Follows all of our scrambling rules. All right. Another way that you can, a little variation on this is we're down here on the mat. Keithway starts to elevate. He's coming up off the mat. Keep elevating. Right here, okay, I can't really sit back from here. All right, but what I can do is once I come behind the knee, this other foot is going to hook right behind his heel here, right there. Okay? And so right here, because I'm hooking and elevating this other heel, this hand has to get active and come underneath. This is the low leg. I have to make sure that it stays elevated. Okay? So a little variation. I'm down here on the mat. Keithway's trying to elevate and pull himself up, pull my leg up. All right, I'm going to hook here. I'm going to hook right here behind the knee. And then right here, right there we go. And then this heel's gonna come right behind, all right? So a little variation on that. I use that when guys get really overzealous. I use it when I can get a good wizard and keep his head down, but he's strong and he's keeping the foot and everything tight to his chest, all right? So anytime you get guys, let's say they're not at quite this mid-level, you get them down like this lower level here, they're below your knee, but maybe above the ankle, all right? Stuff like this starts becoming really attractive. Same thing if I get it down to the mat, right here, as Keyway starts to stand back up and pull this foot up, I'm able to create motion going across and sitting them back, all right? Always elevating the low leg with either my foot or my hand. So that's one that I love to play with, all right? Guys already know on a single, I play with that at practice, try and pull them off balance, all right? Right here, as Keyway goes to finish, he's trying to elevate. I drive his head down, he starts to elevate some more. I can pull him off balance so that when he starts to pull, he really wants to go backwards. As he pulls and goes backwards, right here, this allows me to create that motion. All right, now, next one. All right, so this next technique is really fun. It's out of a front headlock. I use it for freestyle, but it's certainly applicable for folk style. The only thing is you're not going to score the initial two, but you're going to score the takedown. So, right in here, all right, got to my front headlock. Remember, I want to keep my shoulder right at where his shirt collar meets his neck. My pressure's into him. My knees are off the mat, all right? I want him carrying both of our weight right on his hands, okay? I don't want my chest too far back because now the weight goes to his butt. He's able to bring his head up and start moving. All right, so shoulder in the front, keeps all the weight on his hands. Now, our normal front headlock from our core drills, if you don't remember, go check out one of my earlier videos. I'm going to be creating this three-legged table, okay? Now, when I go head in the hole, the one thing that I make sure is important is this elbow on the other side. All right, I can't go head in the hole and leave my elbow up because then his head comes up. All right, so when I go head in the hole, I pull the chin with me like I'm trying to put his ear to his bicep. Okay? So, for this one, I'm going to go head in the hole, but imagine that this guy's holding on to my elbow. All right? He's going to be holding on to my elbow, but I can get to his ankle or his knee. So my head goes all the way under. He's trying to hold on tight, but I can get to this ankle or this knee. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive my fist and try and get my elbow to the mat. I'm going to peel my elbow high, release, and turn towards the leg. So drive elbow towards the mat, peel. Right here, I'm going to release. And as he bellies out, I'm turning towards the legs. Sneaky shoulder position for the finish. All right? You can call this a peel back, a can opener. Now, breaking this down. I'm in my front headlock. All right? I go head in the hole. I really got to get my ear underneath of his armpit. Okay? And this inside hip. All right? It's important, but I need to take a big outside step close to his body. All right? Big outside step close so that I can create it. So that I can get right here. All right? Now, the more he tries to fight and turn into me, the better. It's even better if he opens up his knee a little bit and tries to get his head up. Perfect. I'm going to drop my elbow, peel, right here. Now I pull and release. Okay? I'm on the top leg, so I've got to elevate. I did a hand exchange and elevate. Keep my shoulder tight to his butt. All right, one more time going this way. Right here, I'm going to Spear this ankle, peel and release, turn, climb the body. Alright, so this one is really useful for some of you little guys, where those guys hold on to your elbows a ton. Alright? Now, a trick to getting your elbows out. Let's say a guy's got both your elbows. The little trick here is, so both of my arms are in front of Keepway's shoulders. Alright? Face the camera. Alright, so both of my arms are in front of his shoulders. Okay? So when I reach under, okay, I'm going to be reaching right in front of his face up to his hand. And I'm going to pull and pull my elbow back. Alright, so I'm going to be pulling and pulling my elbow back. That's going to allow me to get my hand out. Now, if I want to hit this move, I'm going to let him hang on the other side. He's going to hang tight. Right here. Okay? If you feel this guy is going like he's going to hide his ankle, turn the outside hip down. You'll be able to chase and pull. And as you release, stand on these legs. Alright? So, first two techniques. This is basically my there we go. My bag of tricks. So obviously I've got my normal ready-made reactions, right? Sprawl wizard, scrunch, my front headlock stuff, but gotta keep it interesting. So that first one is our sit back. Call it a sit back because I want to make sure that you sit straight to your butt and that you're not trying to kick your opponent's legs out. All right, so first of all, it's illegal to leave your feet. So as long as you keep that 1 foot on the mat, you're fine. Second thing is you've got to make sure that you're not trying to cause undue harm to your opponent. All right, so this is a head inside defense, head inside single defense. Single defense. All right, so remember, I'm going to split the leg with my foot. Split legs with foot. Drive in. Hook far side knee with toe. Sit to butt. Elevate low leg. So remember, that's going to look a little weird, but it's the leg that's closest to you. Okay? Second thing we did was can opener. So front headlock, I always abbreviate that FHL, front headlock, head in the hole. And so I like to say spear the ankle because I want the visual to be that I'm just reaching far enough to get my wrist over the ankle. So spear the ankle, pull chin to heel, and release. So there's no benefit in trying to hold that guy there in that basic modified back bridge. All you're going to get is an overzealous official trying to call it potentially dangerous. So once you pull and release, turn towards the legs. right, so those are our first two techniques. All right, now some other kind of fun stuff that I like to do, especially from this shot defense. All right, so guys taking high crotches. All right, so keyway takes a high crotch. Okay, right here, this head outside shot. Remember we talked about before passing the shoulder. So I'm gonna pass the shoulder just a little bit. All right, and we can pass this shoulder and immediately we can go right into a position 3. All right, but so one thing that I wanna go over here is actually what happens. Like, so let's say I start to sprawl and we end up going to the mat here. All right, so we're here. Keyway's trying to hang on. All right, so one thing that I do here is I'm going to turn into his hips and attack the knee. All right, so stay put. Okay. All right, so turn in here. All right, and see how. Yeah. So I keep this leg straight with my toe pointed up. All right, and so if Keyway looks to finish, he's going to come into me right here. All right, because my heel's in the mat, I'm going to be able to pull now. I'm going to keep my elbow, my inside elbow, on the outside. My hands are going to lock here right at his knee. All right, so right here, I'm going to keep my elbow above his back, and I'm going to lock right at his knee, and I'm going to pull this knee right to my chest. Right here. All right? So, once I pull this knee to my chest, I'm going to try and drive all of my weight up onto this foot towards his head. Okay? Right here. Right here. I drove towards his head. All right? My head's higher, inside hip down, and all I'm going to be doing is looking to go right over his head, get my hands locked, and keep my legs straight. I'm going to take the points from here. No need to try and go over the top. I'm waiting for this guy to get scared and let go of the leg. Once he does, now my hip's square, looking for the fall. All right? So, right off of this, when I look to go here, let's say this guy tries to take it to the net. So I sit and straight leg it. The more he tries to fight and turn into me, the easier it's right there. I start to pull it out. I pull right here, and I keep my hand to the outside. All right? I'm going to go over top of the shoulder with this, because if I do this, this allows me to keep this leg up. All right? This really forces his head down. If I try and stay too tight in here, his foot goes back down to the mat, and his head starts to come back up. All right? This is what I don't want. So I pull this knee kind of to the outside so that he doesn't have anywhere to push from. And I take the knee to the head this way. All right, see this hand? Take the knee to the head that way so that I can lock. Now, you can get this also when the guy tries to go head inside or he goes low single. All right, so imagine right here he shot low single. All right, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to turn and sit. All right, and right here, he shot low single, I turn and sat, and I'm going to be straightening out this leg. As this guy's trying to bring his head up, all right here, I'm going to be pulling this knee tight to my chest. Okay, now I'm going to be driving over this foot right here, looking to come cradle. Once my cradle's locked, remember how we talked about top leg cradles on Monday? I'm just going to drive straight over his head. All right? So, wrestling here, he went low single, caught me off guard. I turned and sat, pulled at the knee. Now I drive right over his head, looking to get my hands locked. Once he lets go of my leg, cover his face with my head. Both of those are straight leg defenses when my opponent is really trying to pull and create pressure against my knee as a joint. All right, so when he gets to this low single, all right, I can't sprawl here. All right, my knees is being hyperextended, so I'm going to use that to straight leg this pressure. Even if his head comes up on the outside here, all right, same attack. All right, his head's on the outside. I'm still going to be looking to kind of grab this knee, all right, and pull this knee to my chest. All right, this is going to keep me in really good position. See how it turns his body? Makes it really hard for him to adjust back to good shoulder position. All right, so we've got those two straight leg defenses, one for head inside, one for head outside. Remember the head outside one, I'm passing the shoulder, and as I pull, I've got to stay tight and drive. When his head's on the inside, like that low single, I'm going to use my leg to keep his head down, and so I'm going to be driving over the foot. All right, so just a little, just so that you guys understand the difference. When his head's on the inside, here I'm using this straight leg to keep his head down. If I keep this bend in my knee right here, Keyway's head will come up, and this is where we'll start to wrestle from. All right. So while he's still down here on the mat, when I first change this position, I need to get my foot as straight as possible. It's going to keep his head down. And once I pull this off the mat, now I can put my foot down because I'm going to be driving up over this and keeping his hips elevated. All right. So just one point that I wanted to make there. All right. So now here's another kind of fun defense thing that I had. I get this a lot. Let's say you've got a guy with underhooks and they want to attack the same side as their underhook a bunch, and they're getting kind of head inside single-ish from right here. So Keyway's got his underhook, he's attacking same side, all right? And I'm sprawling, and let's say we're getting to the seatbelt position, all right? He's starting to come up around the waist because he can't finish. And so when you wrestle kind of tall, lanky guys and they get this seatbelt position, it can feel a little bit unnerving. So you want to make sure that you're keeping this inside hip down, outside hip up, all right? But we've got a little bit of funky defense out of this. So as Keyway goes to drive in, all right, he's trying to see how he turns his hip. I need to be keeping his head down. And so what I'm going to do is, as he drives, my hips are going to come up over the top of his. All right? So we're down here. He drives into me. My hips are going to come up over the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my feet on the other side of his head. Right here. All right? See how this arm stays hyperextended? So now I'm just going to swim all the way around, right to here, and then cut back behind the elbow. All right? So we end up in this seatbelt, whether it be he shot in on a leg, and I went to my sprawl wizard, he came up around the waist. All right, right here, as your opponent goes to drive in, you get his head below yours. All right, and I'm going to jump my feet to the other side of his body, just like I would for a cartwheel. Right here. Now, before he has a chance to react and get this other hand off the mat, my feet are going to run back the other way. All right? Right in here. He's driving. Run my feet back the other way. One more time. Right in here. We're wrestling. He shot. I'm defending. This works really well for freestyle. He's starting to drive me out of bounds. Jump over. Score your point. All right? This one really catches the guy off guard, especially if you can frustrate him with a quarter Nelson or just really good head pressure. All right? If I can start to frustrate him here, all right, and force this guy to come up around my waist because that's his only option. He's getting target out of him there with his head down. Normally from right here, you don't want to do it from no pressure. And so the way you test that is pressure into your opponent. All right? When they start to pressure back, that's when you know I can get my feet up and over and then running back to the other side. Look how I keep my hands behind his elbow. All right, this hand never left that side. All right, head on one side, feet on the other. It's going to help me finish that takedown. So let's talk about these really quick. So we had our straight leg defense. Straight leg defense. So turn into opponent. Attack inside knee with both hands. All right, so I'm going to be attacking the knee with both hands. Pull to your chest. Attack knee with two hands. Pull to your chest. Then you're going to elevate towards the head. And look for top leg cradle. Okay? And then our last one is our seatbelt cartwheel. So pressure in with your overhook. Okay? So pressure with overhook. When you feel resistance, cartwheel feet over back. All right? Feet over back. You want to remember to go the correct way, feet over his butt, back area, as opposed to trying to get your feet over his head because his arm will catch you. All right? First couple of techniques right here. All right? So, there you go. Got two more things to show. So, like you guys all know, I'm from Pennsylvania, all right? And so most PA guys, especially as guys from the eastern side of the state, near the Lehigh Valley, we've all got some sort of variations and attacks with our cement mixers, all right? So one of my favorite ones, the way that I really like to set this up, this works for short time. This is probably one of my go-tos for I need to put up big points in a short amount of time, whether it be end of the period, end of a match. And so it comes off of my underhook, dig to your underhook, however you can get there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull, create knee pick motion going across, what should hopefully get my opponent's head down. And as their head goes down, it's a short pull to tighten up my elbows, and then I'm going. All right? So dig into my underhooks, all right, wrestling out of this underhook. My knee pick motion is really important. So remember, fix that just a little. Okay, so remember when I get my underhooks, I never want to be up and down, all right, not north to south with my underhook, because this makes this guy's overhook really tight. You can pinch his elbow, you can start to create pressure. So I want my underhook going east to west, okay, east to west. Now, my knee pick is going to come from an inside step, okay, The leg that's closest to Keyway is going to step first on my knee pick. What that does is that guarantees to put his head a little bit lower than mine. All right? And so what happens is, if I reach here and this guy steps back, this guy's got to step out of it, okay? Right here. I'm hitting my knee pick. This guy's got to step out of it. He's trying to match my head level, which his coach is probably telling him to do. So this is perfect for a little pull right there, all right? So I've got my underhook going east to west. I'm stepping for my knee pick. He tries to step out of it and square up. Good. I'm going to pull just a little. Right here, this is where I'm going. All right, no need to reinforce. It's going to be here. Hit it 100%. You're on your feet, so your back arch has got to be a lot nicer, and you turn tighter. All right, turn really tight. There's your technique. All right, you should be able to hit it slow and controlled like that. All right, so got my underhook, all right? I'm fighting with Keyway here. He's a good wrestler. He's defending, okay? And then I get a chance to step across with his knee pick. He's a good opponent. He squares up. Look, as soon as his head comes below mine, I'm pulling in. I've got inside hip, pull, and then I go. Look where my feet are. I'm still putting pressure into him. That means that he's giving me counter pressure. And then I go completely underneath. Right here, knee pick, step, and go. All right, so last little technique that I got. So this is, guys are going around the corner. One of my things that, if I'm defending from a front headlock and I'm kind of losing this defense, is I'll give this guy the top leg. And so I'm baiting him to step over that top leg. So what's happening here is he's in a front headlock. He's going around the corner. Okay, I'll bait him with this top leg. So what I want is for him to grab it. Maybe he thinks he's going to go cradle, but all I'm going to be doing is really defending with my head up here. And so as he starts, he's got to release this because he's not going to be able to get his hands locked. He's got to release this. And so what I want to do is I want to start coming to what I call like a back wizard, all right? So imagine this guy might be stepping over my leg here, all right? So right here, he's going to step over, all right? I'm going to be coming back wizard, and I'm going to be driving. I'm going to pull his hips down. I'm going to pull my elbow down to the mat, and what I'm going to do is kick this foot up off the mat, and then my legs are going to try and float right here. So, this guy's stepping around me, all right? You can hit this from bottom as well. Let's say he had a leg in, and you were able to get the leg out, but he stays hooked here, okay? I can come to this back wizard, and as I pull, I got to make sure I get my hips up and over his. All right, up and over my opponents. Okay, so the reason that this move works, is right now his inside hip is down and his outside hip is up. And I'm going to try and change that by pulling and getting to the other side. Right here. Now, if we turn it all the way in, my inside hip is down, my outside hip is up, and I've reversed that position on my opponent. So, you can think about this positionally and why it works. And it's because I'm able to change the hip position before I give up points. All right, so imagine coming from my front headlock again. This guy's going to spin around. This worked really well if I started on a single. Let's say my position got beat. My opponent stepped over my ankle, trying to score this. All right, So right here, if I want to come out, I can. And now, because my leg stayed straight, the leg that he hooked, this gives me somewhere to apply pressure, like a fulcrum. And as I pull, right here, these legs have to go straight as I get my hips up. If my legs don't go straight, then he keeps the hook. All right, so my legs need to go straight so that I can get the hook out as I float my hips over the top. All right, so now another little bonus is, here I'll show a little bonus one. Let's say we do get to that single, our shoulder position gets beat, all right, and then we can bait this guy into stepping over. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn that kind of into like an inside trick. So I got to my high crotch, but my position got bad in a hurry, and this guy's beating me around the corner. All right, so what I want to do is keep this outside foot up, and right here, right there, because I'm inside, right when this guy steps over, he's going to be looking to think that he's got points. And so what I'm going to do is, right here. What I want to do is I'm going to keep that leg straight, and I'm going to try and elevate the leg that I originally attacked. Right here. Keep this leg straight. That puts all the weight there on his foot and on his knee. And I'm going to switch hands with my hands. So both hands are underneath. This hand swims out. All right? The reason I do that is because I have to keep this leg elevated. All right? Right here, I'm really in danger of this guy bringing his hips over my face and going right to my back. So when I step up, I've got to keep this up. And then what I want to do is return to shoulder position. All right, return to shoulder position. So once again, shot it on a single. My position got beat. All right, my opponent's going around the corner. He's stepping over my ankle. All right, when he stepped over, I'm going to straighten out that leg and elevate. Right here. Okay? Now I got to switch hands so that I can keep his foot off the mat. And everything's going to drive up over the top, looking to get back to shoulder position. I like moves that can change the direction when my opponent brings his hips up at just the wrong time. All right, so a lot of those times come right before or right as scores are about to happen. So he's going around the corner thinking he's about to score a takedown, okay? But because I kept this foot and I'm still fighting here, it still gives me some points to wrestle from, all right? Because I've got something to wrestle from here, I can create pressure with a straight leg, all right, straight leg, and elevate. So, let's get these last moves down. So, first technique we talked about was that cement mixer off of the knee pick. So, knee pick special. So remember, we're going to go inside step, east-west underhook. All right. short snap. Short snap means I'm not trying to get them all the way to the mat. Short snap. Commit. Look up his nose as you hit your back arch. Punch the mat. All right, and so last but not least is, call this a back whizzer. All right, just like we have our shin whizzer. All right, this is a back whizzer, or at least what I call it. So pull outside hip to mat. Cartwheel slash elevate your hips. Elevate hips. Straight legs. And tell me if you've heard this before. I want you to finish head on one side, feet on the other. Now, we can do that off of a head inside single. So this is going to be our special case, our high crotch. Our opponent steps over top leg. Straight leg. And elevate. Hand replacement. Finish towards the head. All right, so went over a good amount of techniques today. All right, that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed some of the fun that I like to have when I'm wrestling. A lot of these techniques I use when trying to slow down guys in practice. I want my guys to understand that even when you're hitting techniques correctly, following some of the rules, that there's some ways for your opponent to create some different positional changes, all right, changing your pressure a little bit. So I use these to help people understand that. And so I hope you guys like them. And so thank you, Adam. Thank you, Thomas, for checking in on Zoom. Got a couple of comments on Facebook I didn't get a chance to check yet. Guys, Kyle Snyder today. I'm pretty sure it's going to be another Q&A type session like Jaden Cox did. And then don't forget tomorrow, in kind of the grand finale of the month of April, we've got two-time world champion Frank Chimito checking in for us. So cool to be able to get all of these guys. Rudis, CERN Custom Shoe Giveaway. All right. $5 donation gets you an entry. Make sure you do that. It's almost done. I will post a list of the names of every person who has an entry, and then I can post the number of entries that you have so that you can see basically what your chances are. And then I will do a live Facebook random number generator sometime this weekend for the 2 shoe giveaways. So Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson today, and I hope you guys really enjoy Kyle Snyder today and Frank Chamizo tomorrow. Be on the lookout for the announcement about May and what's going to be happening with Wrestling Lunch Break as we move into another month. And keep checking in, keep checking out, and I hope you guys make sure that if you are watching clinicians, any of the old videos, and you like what you see, we've got the Venmos and PayPals of all those coaches on the Facebook page. Please make sure you pay them a visit. Toss them $1 or $2. It really does help, especially if 100 people watch your video and throw you $1. Feels pretty good. So, guys, thank you so much. Hope you guys have a great day. Get after it. Carpe diem. Just remember, my favorite 3 things. Make the next best decision, score the next point, and you can and you will. Later, guys.